it's been really good. I mean, we're throwing the ball well, leading well, focusing meetings, so it's really off to a good start.
Jim said during the media days that the three of them basically tied. What in your mind separates one quarterback versus another? Not specifically, but whoever wins out, what's going to be the difference for them?
We feel that's the best play for us to win football games. So.
What are your thoughts on ever having multiple quarterbacks play regularly?
I think that's you could do that. You know, at times there are different packages and things. You know, going into a football game, you're always trying to look for the best way to attack the defense. And if that's something that presents a problem for the team that you're playing, then that could be an option.
And what do you think about this fall, that being an option?
I don't know yet. It's so early in camp. We're still putting this thing together and putting the offensive concepts together and things we're doing. So we'll see as we go.
Jim talked about maybe 10 practices or so to decide to really know on a quarterback. How about offensive line? How long into camp is it before you get a good sense of that?
It just depends, you know. It could be practice 10, it could be practice 12. I mean, we just put pads on yesterday, and things change when you put pads on. You know, when the competition of hitting and the physicality and moving people off the ball and things moving faster. So, usually as we go, we'll make that decision.
Obviously, you want to get the right five and the right quarterback, but is there an urgency to do it quicker so that they can kind of solidify themselves and get used to being that lead person in that role?
You know, it comes a point in time, yeah, you have to make the decision, but you never want to rush into making a decision. You know, as a coaching staff, we want to feel good about who the best starters are and who the best 11 are. So, I mean, we'll come to that point when we will, but we're not going to rush into it and feel like, we got to make it right now. I mean, we're still putting in concepts and we're evolving and creating an identity about ourselves. So it's something that as we go, we'll figure it out.
Where do you think Mason will play this year?
That's a great question. You know, Mason's a very, very talented athlete, great offensive lineman. We're just kind of moving the deck around inside, and we'll see how it all shakes out. But he's a guy that can play all 5 positions. I mean, that's how talented he is, and did a great job this summer leading these guys, and great mindset, and just got an eye of a tiger, man. He wants to be the best, which is awesome.
How deep of a rotation would you plan, if all things being equal, with an offensive line, you know, on a regular game day?
Usually, I mean, you want to find the best 6th, 7th, and 8th linemen, you know, to help out. You want to have a guy to be able to swing tackle, a guy inside can play center and guard, you know, and another guard or possibly tackle. So, you know, it's 6, 7, 8 deep.
How do you split the snaps among the quarterbacks?
You know, we just kind of rotate through. We go through the practice and say, hey, we're going to put this guy in these 4 plays and these 4 plays and these 4 plays. It's equally divided, no favoritism. It's, hey, we're rolling the balls out and we'll see who the best guys are.
And can you just kind of athletic options at right tackle with Jawan? And I know John, one of the more athletic linemen you guys have. Can you kind of just describe that right tackle position a little bit?
Yeah, Jawan, and then Nolan's over there. John Runyon can work over there. You got Andrew Stuber, Chuck Filiaga. We have some guys, you know, to work with there. We feel good about all of them. As we progress through, we'll see, you know, how they understand the offense and if they can think quickly on their feet and their physicality and things. But you know, it's kind of rotation, and maybe somebody else swinging over there. You know, it's so early, but we feel very, very good about the guys that we have. We feel very good about their athleticism and what they did over the summer and things, and understanding what we're trying to do. So we're excited about it.
It's still early, but obviously with practice and stuff. But is there anything that you notice different about John or Jawan specifically coming into this year?
You know, just you know, the point is their numbers getting called, so there's nobody in front of them. You know, so it's you know, they have a desire to be good. It's you know, they're really trying to be on point, and I think it's a maturity, getting older in the program, and it's their time. It's their time to be a starter here in Michigan and to play at this great institution. So I mean, it's an exciting time.
Thoughts on what Pep Hamilton brings to the mix on your side of the ball?
Outstanding football coach. You know, just love Pep. Love Pep, who he is. Very knowledgeable, non-ego guy. I mean, just ideas, collaborations. You know, I think the world of Pep. Pep's a great man, great father. Really excited to have him. I'm thankful that he's here. Really am.
How is Michael and Wendy looked at? So you guys had a goal for him in the
Yeah.
offseason.
Yeah.
How has he progressed as far as that's concerned?
Really nice. You know, Mike's, you've probably seen him walking around. He looks good. He's really moving well. His foot turnover speed, his understanding. It's really doing a great job. He's really worked hard at it, you know, which is cool.
Is there a weight that you want him at? Or?
You know, my thing is I've coached guys that have been 380 plus pounds, you know, and you don't want to fixate on the weight because they'll start to fixate, oh gosh, I'm not good enough, I can't move at this weight. Hey, how well can you move at this particular weight and then go from there? You know, it's just, if you're good at X amount of weight and you can block somebody, you can pick up a pressure, you can, 3 technique crossing your feet, you can cover them up. You know, those are the things you look for. You just don't want to put a number on them.
Going back to Pat, he's 7 months in the program now. How has he built relationships as a new coordinator, passing game coordinator? You know, guys like Bolton State, Brandon Peters, John O'Corn. Why is that important to really forge that relationship?
I think it's, I mean, right away, I mean, when Pep walks in the room, it's just a wealth of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You need demands from those guys. He understands the different scenarios and the answers to the problems of the matchups. And you'll be just, and he coaches those kids just like, you know, those young men, just like his own son, his daughter. You know, he's very loving, very caring, very passionate. And, you know, I always think you can judge a person's heart 10 feet away. You can tell when a person's got a good heart. And Pep's got a golden heart, and he's unbelievable.
What are your thoughts on the disappearance of 2 days? And do you have a structure that you generally alter for the
You know, I think it's good. I really like this plan. You know, the day off, I think that gives those guys to, you know, get their thoughts clear, get their off their feet, get their rehab, and feel fresh when they come back in. I love the way we do it. There's no time restriction, so we're gonna meet, we're gonna practice, we're gonna walk through. You know, really gives you a battle rhythm, and I think it's really good that we got to come to camp a week earlier, especially with this young football team to get started. So I think everything is really positive and feel really good about it.
Jim talked at media days about consolidating the staff. You guys have 3 guys back there between you, Pep, and Greg with coordinating experience. How do you keep from having kind of too many cooks there?
It's not. I mean, I think that you know, when you get guys that are really good at what they do and their expertise, I think when you collaborate and you come up with different ideas, it just becomes stronger. The ideas, and it's you know, great coaches are great coaches. I mean, you can't have enough of them. So I think that as we push forward here, there's just great ideas coming out, and we're coaching, and guys are liking it. You can tell.
Do you feel like you complement each other with your backgrounds there?
Absolutely. You know, with Coach Fry coming in, it's nice. It's, you know, me being the offense coordinator with Coach Fry helping with the offensive line and breaking things up. That's really refreshing, and you know, with his background, some single back things that he's done at Indiana, the great linemen that he's coached, the expertise of some of the tackles he's coached has been great. With Pep, you know, with us working together in 2010 at Stanford and the different ideas that we did there, it's really good. And you know, just we all complement each other, and I really love the offensive staff. I love who they are as people. I love who they are as coaches. I love the wealth of knowledge. And Jay Harbaugh and Scott Turner. I mean, even on Al Nether, GA. I mean, they're all very good.
We'll have some seniors outside and at tight end. Can you talk about some of the players that are taking advantage of the opportunities we're getting so far in camp?
Yeah, and the 5 wide receivers that we signed, and we were really explosive outside with great speed. You know, with Keiko Crawford and you know, with DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones, you know, Grant Perry. You know, just all those. It's a really good core guys. Tight end wise, you know, TJ Wheatley and Ian Bunting, Sean McCune. You look at those guys; they very complement each other very well. It's what we're trying to build concept wise with our system, so they fit in well what we need.
And how have the changes? I mean, you mentioned, you know, with Dragon and Jay, first time running backs coach. How the offensive coaching changes, does it influence the way that, you know, does it change the way you're going to do things?
No, I mean, I am who I am. I think that I'll be a better coach because of it, because of the wealth of knowledge, and with Jay working with the running backs, he's done a great job. I mean, those running backs understanding the assignments and what we're doing. So it's going to make us better as a team. It's going to make me better as a coordinator and make us all better coaches.
What do you think of with Greg and Jay, kind of the tandem on the run game, the emphasis on that? What do you think of that?
Great, outstanding, really good.
You mentioned earlier about Mason being able to play all 5 spots. There's a bunch of guys all over the country moving back to center to guard. Do you think offensive line are more versatile today? And do you see that changing, and why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think in college football they can be, just because sometimes the guy across the line is not playing with the measurables that you are in the NFL because they have a standard of the arm length and at the defensive end spot. But when you're a good athlete and you're a good offensive lineman, in college football you should be able to play all 5. And even in NFL, you know, if the guy's athletic enough, you're not going to put a short arm guy at left tackle or the right tackle spot, but you can see those characteristics and skill sets and make them special.
Athletic ability?
Athletic ability is huge, and you know, and I think in the offensive line is you know, be able to see the screen move and be able to adjust, have football awareness is huge.
Jim, you think you have more guys other than Mason right now that can do that? That can play maybe 4 spots?
Yeah, I'd have to sit here and think about it. I think that, yeah, there's
More
guys
than you had.
more than I have, yeah, because their athletic ability, you know, and the strength and the power that they play with, yes.
Got time for a couple more questions.
So where's Cesar Ruiz fitting into all this?
He's doing outstanding. Cesar had a nice summer. You know, he's a guy that could play inside, could be a center, could be a guard. You know, he's really understanding what we're doing. He's farther along as a freshman, you know, coming in mid-year. Does a nice job when we're teaching these concepts in the room, in the classroom. He won't come up and answer and think quickly on his feet, so pleased with him.
At camp, he was talking about he was used to the structure coming from IMG, so coming here, you know, the schedule and everything wasn't too much, but speed-wise, of course. I mean, how is he kind of early on? How has he adapted just to the college speed?
Very nicely.
You still letting those freshmen, the latest arrivals, are they still looking at tackle, or are you trying to them in other spots? I know you said in the spring you're going to start with Chuck and Andrew going for.
Yeah, we're tackles and some guards spots.
A little bit low.
Yeah, we usually restrain from a center spot because that's really a lot of thinking. Because you know the quarterback and the center usually working in tandem and directing traffic and things. So.
All right, guys, we're going to move Coach Shrebner on. Coach Brown will be here in just a second.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
I mean,
We're live. We're live.
Coach Don Brown coming as well. Who could possibly have it better than nobody? Yo, we got Rocky. Say hi, Rocky.
Hey, guys.
Blueprint's own co-host. Yeah, she in the building. She know football.
She knows football.
She can beat you in fantasy football too.
Yes.
Yo, so you want to talk? Give them your thoughts, Rocky.
About right now?
Yeah.
I feel like it's
We
very.
got Coach Don.
All right. Well, you guys, here we go.
Oh, how we doing?
Good. How are you? Good. How are you? This thing?
It's pretty cool.
This is a selfie stick.
Still pretty cool. How we doing? Good. How are you, Coach? Great. Everybody have a good summer? Yes, sir. It's over. At least for me. You know, really like our guys. Got a really high character group. It's fun to go to work every day. You know, we're only 3 days in. You know, the first 2 days you got your pajamas on, so you're just running around in your shorts and t-shirts and put the headgear on, and then get our first day in uppers yesterday, and we start to see how we're going to be. You know, we a lot of learning to do, huge learning curve. Trying to establish tempo and pace with this new practice schedule is interesting, and because in essence you really have one more week than you used to have, so that has to come into your thinking, because you obviously want to get the guys all this information, but you don't want to jam it at them too fast that they can't retain. And you actually have a little more time to to install, get prepared, and so forth. But you don't want them bored with it either. So you got to keep, you got to kind of keep it going at a reasonable clip, so that they stay engaged and they learn and they participate with great energy, mostly mentally. They're going to do that physically. So good start, first 3 days. Excited about it.
I know you've talked about maintaining the aggressive attacking style of your defense, even with losing so many starters. Realistically, does there have to be some dialing back with so many young guys at all, or is it too early to tell?
We really can't tell. I think it's a great question. I'm not trying to dodge it. But regardless of how we're going to go about doing it, because there's several ways to do it, we're going to be aggressive. I mean, that's just the way we play defense. So now we may do that different ways. We may play different concepts. Obviously, you have a system. It needs to be flexible enough so that speed can get on the field, and based on where that speed comes from, positionally, that your package is flexible enough that you can utilize those talents.
Don, in the Chicago gym was talking about Quiddy and Luigi, kind of raving about them on the outside. He mentioned them maybe as outside linebackers, defensive ends. What have you noticed out of those two so far?
Well,
Luigi, Quiddy.
I'll give you this. I watched pass rush yesterday. Pretty good. Very good start. Luigi, extremely explosive, comes off the rock. Was really impressed with how well, not only does he come off the rock, but how well Quiddy used his hands. And, those guys are very talented guys, as coaches alluded to. And we're going to give them every opportunity possible to get on the field. In some roles. Now, can they learn it all concept-wise? Probably not. But that doesn't mean they can't contribute and develop confidence and then have their role broaden as we move forward.
Obviously, you're going to have guys compete everywhere, but is corner going to be the most interesting? Is that what your read is right now? Or?
I think every position is there's battles going on. But, I think the corner thing is paramount in our thinking. Coach Zordich, I have tremendous confidence in his abilities to analyze, provide technique and concept, and I love those guys. I mean, all of those guys have a chance to be good. So, and Coach gave me a, early birthday present or something. But Drake Harris had a nice interception yesterday. So, and I love those guys, when they put their hands out and they're nice and long, and then he goes up and high points the ball. It's fun to see. So hopefully he can continue to take steps, move forward, learn the concept, and play fast, because that's the biggest piece. Okay, I know the concept, but it's like mud, stammering around. It's no quick twitch, move forward, make adjustments, technique fundamentals, play fast, all those things. So, but all of those guys have a chance. Really like them all, to be honest. I think Brandon Watson up, and Keith Washington. Then you got the Levert, Hill, David Long. You got the Ben St. Juste. You got Drake. So I mean, it goes on and on. There's a number of guys there, and right now, as you alluded to, we're going to try to find out who the top 2 and really 3 guys are. We're even, looking at Jalen, Kelly Powell, and seeing if he can help us in some of those packages as well, utilizing his coverage skills.
A couple of the players had mentioned this offseason about Khalid Hudson being potentially off the radar, but potentially one of the best players in college football. Obviously, still big shoes going into Jabril's shoes, but what have you seen out of him, and how likely is that ascent?
Well, I love him. I mean, he's a very physical guy. His learning at that position has been outstanding, and he's competing at a high level. He hasn't played a minute on defense yet, so going from that point to, you know, one of the best players in college football is an extremely high jump. So I'm just very happy with his arrow. You know, some guys' arrow's flat, some guys' arrow's down. His arrow is constantly going up. He's a really coachable guy. He's fun to have in the room. And don't forget, he can play some safety as well. So.
With the corners, can playing aggressive help them quicker because maybe they're putting the onus on the offense instead?
Let me ask you this question, okay? So I'm going to cover you. So I'm going to go back here, and then you're going to run all over the place, and I'm going to go cover you. Do you think that's easy with all that space on a football field? Or I'm covering you, and I close up and play with my hands, and, you know, up until 2013, I coached corners every year since 1983. The minute you get, you know, and I used to always do this just to see when we started getting into all the press concepts. The minute you said to them, hey, you've got the option, you can go up and play press or you can play off, they'll all immediately go. And players know what they want to do and whether they want to accept the one-on-one challenge or play and let great players run around in space and try to chase them all over the field. You know, I just say that's kind of a common denominator. Guys that, you know, that we're involved with in recruiting, if there's any chink in their armor or if we sense any kind of, you know, that aggressiveness that we're looking for, probably not a good place to go, in honest reality, because we want guys that accept the one-on-one challenge, and, you know, that's just me, but, you know, that's what we're looking for.
Going back to, you know, say, team's got a steep learning curve, your defense has a steep learning curve. Does that concern you at all, or is that a good challenge for the defense as a whole? It's a challenge for yourself as a coordinator.
Well, to be honest, it kind of, I don't know if the word's read, because it energizes you as a coach that you're going in there and guys, you know, you got to teach them a concept. I think that's kind of what we do as teachers. I think the bigger challenge is creating a picture and a vision for what you want the defense to be, and then get them to go buy into it. That's the bigger challenge on a year-to-year basis. But in answer to your question, I think when new things are happening every day, guys are coming in going, oh, what am I learning today, Coach? What are we doing today? One of the best players I've ever coached, Kenny Tate, used to come in every morning. What am I doing today? And, you know, we played him one game. We played him, I think, 9 different positions out of the 11. So players love to be challenged. Concept, vision, you know, style of play. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think just that in itself provides energy for them to come to work every day, bring their lunch pail and go to work.
Time for one or two more for Coach Brown.
From the outside, we see just one returning starter. Technically, I know there are others. Yeah. As the guy that coordinates this, is whatever nervousness about that, is that mitigated by the talent, or do you lose sleep over how many new guys you have in your place?
I'll tell you what I'm you know, this is legit now, okay? That's a good question. It's legit. Who's providing the leadership? That's what we're building right now. And I see it, again, I'd be nervous if I saw this. Ooh, nobody. And I think that's starting to happen. Who's going to provide the leadership? You know, Mo Hurst, Mike McCray, Rashawn Gary, you know, that starters thing, you know, we had a lot of guys play last year. Right. You know, Tyreek Cannell played a lot last year. Rashawn Gary played a ton. Mo Hurst, okay, he wasn't a starter. He was just one of the most devastating penetrators inside in college football. Just say it. Brian Monet played a bunch. Chase Winovich was on the field. All the, you know, goes on and on and on and on. Devin Bush played a lot of football last year. A lot of it on teams, but a lot of it on defense as well. So I'm not as concerned, but who's going to provide that rock that when adversity introduces a man to himself is going to take the group on his back and go? And I think that's starting to develop, and I think the arrow's up on that. That's the bigger piece for me, is when adversity introduces a man to himself, who's going to lead us back into a positive comfort zone? That's mentally. That's the bigger piece.
How much how much is that front seven going to be able to take some heat off a young secondary, especially early on?
You know, Coach Madison does a great job with the front four. And, you know, Chris Partridge and myself, we're responsible to get these guys to play fast. This is everybody has a job. In the run game, all 11 players are involved in the run. You know, shoot, I chase the corners harder than I chase the linebackers in defending the run game. And Coach Zordich and Coach Smith have to get the safeties involved. And in the pass deal, it's the same deal. You know, the back end, as you noted, with the corners questions, have a pass coverage responsibility. But how fast we can get there, that has a direct correlation on if I'm the quarterback going back and I'm, woo, I can be pretty good. I'm 62 and I can be pretty good, okay? Well, you go back and all of a sudden it's, woo, that has an impact. So, you know, it all kind of plays together. It's all 11. That's why playing defense is such a, you know, such a big deal. That's where, you know, 11 guys are going to be evaluated and talked about as one defensively. You know, that's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been, and we prepare them for that mentally. That's the way it is.
All right, thank you for your time. We got to keep Coach Brown moving.
Awesome.
Thank you, Coach.
Have a great day.
Yep.
You still rolling?
You want me to?
Nah.
He is one making the difference that people are sleeping on. The Don. Yo.
Are you still rolling?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
He said Don Brown's the one making the difference.
That's right. Talk to the people. What's your thoughts?
I really wanted to figure out what challenges he was having with the backfield this week. Because he was like, every day we come in, there's new challenges, and that's what keeps the players wanting to come and to grow. And they're constantly facing new challenges every day. So I specifically wanted to see what he was going to say about more of the backfield. He talked a lot about the corners, and I was like, I like that. Because that's what we were talking about before we came up here, about like Drake Harris switching now over. So they have so many people, it's like you don't know which one they can choose for in the corners right now.
Yeah. This girl knows football. It's Rocky Jones, Blueprint co-host. She knows football.
I'm just excited.
And she knows how to play fantasy football. We're going to start a fantasy football league.
I was #1 in both of my leagues.
Yeah. So, all right, that's a wrap. Who got it better than us?
Nobody.
All right, peace.